Hi, I'm Sarah.
And I'm David, and it is Survivor time again. So we're doing a draft as we do.
What? Yes, we do. We're so excited about the new season. We're going to talk about the cast and draft them. But first, if you're new to this channel, please click subscribe and give this video a thumbs up.
And you can support us on Patreon at patreon.com/nerdtainment.
Yes, please do so.
Please,
David, welcome
please.
back. It's been a minute.
It has been a minute. I, had to take this season of Big Brother off, which you ultimately did too.
Apparently, that's what we're doing.
So I'm happy to be back for Survivor, and we're doing Amazing Race as well. And I'm excited.
Yes, we're going to have a fun fall. People have been asking for you. So glad you're back. Deliver on that. And y'all, we have a stellar panel for the draft this season.
I'm so they might say.
So excited. We got some new friends joining us. But first, let's bring in our favorite pal, Chantele.
Hello. Oh my God, we're here for another draft. Let's see if I can merge having the winner pick with having the comp piece so I can win the actual draft this time.
Okay, merge. I see your word choice there. Good job. Good job.
on trend, on point. Yes. Chantele's always here for redemption and adjusting how a draft works. Yeah. What are we adding this season? Are we adding?
What are we adding?
How are we adding?
Adding length of time that was shown in the EW interviews. Because there's some people that just got a little blip, and there's some people that got a long
blip.
So I'm taking that into consideration, that they're giving them more screen time. So I might be bringing a little bit of that in, and some more astrology, of course.
Of course. I can't wait to talk. We already talked astrology, but that will of course be brought up some more because we can't stop ourselves. Let's bring in the rest of our panel just from last season. Half of an ended up being a duo, but she's gonna keep his bag at camp. Here's Frannie.
But she's gonna say, "Good luck. You don't got your bag. Good luck on your own, boy." Yeah. Hey, I'm so happy to be here.
Thank you so much for joining us. You've already had an eventful day. You're squeezing us in. We appreciate it.
We do.
I know. I'm psyched to be here. I'm psyched to do I'm like nervous. I don't know. I've never done a draft before. When I heard your intro, I got complacent. Like I felt like I was watching a YouTube video, and then I was like, "Oh no, I have to make choices." So this is gonna be fun. I'm so excited. I've got like my notepad. This is very intense.
Yes, I love bringing strategy in. And this is your first season. Post you playing, now you're watching. That's always got to feel a little different.
Yes. Yeah. I got the jitters this morning when I watched the 3-minute, release of the first 3 minutes of the promo. That interesting new music cue. I was like, oh my God, what's going on here? It's very different now watching, having played, having that new perspective. And I'm just so excited for these people. So it's going to be so fun.
Yay. All right. One more to join our panel. He's now an old pro, right? He's got a season under his belt watching. Owen, thank you for joining.
Hey, y'all. Thanks for having me. Yeah, I agree with Frannie. I got the jitters as well watching that 3-minute clip and seeing everyone's stories and everything. And yeah, it's going to be fun. I love this cast, and I was a fan of watching y'all's videos during my season. And so I'm flattered that you asked me to join.
Yeah.
We're grateful you're here.
Yes, we're so excited. We appreciate anyone watching. Thank you. Thank you to everyone in the chat too who are trickling in. As a reminder, we're gonna go in order of our draft picks, and then we're gonna snake back. Since there's 5 of us, we will each get 3 for our team, and that will leave 3 for the audience. Nice. Owen gets to choose. Do you want first round pick, or do you want to come in 5th? So you'd go back to back.
So I'd have 5 and 6. Oh man. I think I think the people I would want probably won't be there at 5 and 6, so I think I'm gonna have to take the first overall pick here.
Okay.
Yes. I love
If
it.
those are my two choices, I'm just gonna go for broke and say I'll go first overall.
Oh my god!
Yay!
He's here
Okay,
to play.
That's right.
Here to play.
Yeah, yes. All right. Well, I am ready. If everybody else is, I've got all my spreadsheets. As usual, I will eventually have a link up for everyone to be able to see and update us throughout the season. So, Owen, hit us with your first pick.
So first overall, I am very excited to draft someone I wanted to work with on my season of Survivor, and that is Kelly.
Yes.
So Kelly, the nurse from New York, I think she is poised to be a strategic, physical, social threat. Oh wow, we got the whole astrology and everything on here as well.
Yes.
But yeah, no, Kelly. So I'm glad this is out in the world and I'm able to talk about it. But as she said in her EW article that, or no, it was Parade that Mike posted.
Yeah.
Or no, yes, yeah. But anyway, she was the alternate for 43, and she was at Ponderosa with us. I realized she was the alternate when we were going alphabetically by first name, and they skipped her when we got to the middle of the alphabet. But she was across from me. I was getting good vibes from her the whole time. And I'm really excited to watch her play. And I think she could be a physical asset to her tribe in the early stages. I don't think she'll be targeted immediately. And I think she's got enough strategic acumen to make some moves down the stretch. And she just seems trustworthy. I mean, I like to think I'm a pretty decent judge of character. And just like, I was really excited to work with her. And so I imagine there's going to be some other folks who will be excited to work with her as well. So I'm hoping for the best for her because I know she's excited to play.
She was on my list. I liked her a lot.
Long EW video.
Yeah.
It's a good sign.
Yeah. I think they had a whole commercial just with her recently. I saw the survivorgift.com Twitter account just had her line about I've got
She's got that awesome dagger line.
Dagger. Yep. It's a good line.
So good. Yeah, she feels she feels very solid to me. Like some of these people, it's hard for me to imagine them. I'm like, are you going to be like very strategic or are you going to come out and like be kooky and like flame out or something? She feels like very, like a very solid pick. I feel like she's such a good first pick.
Yeah. And like, I feel like nurses can like connect with people and make people like them, like even more so than bartenders, maybe. Like who doesn't love nurses? You know, I just feel like they have that bedside manner thing. Her personality was shining for me. And I was like, oh, I feel like everybody's going to love her. And she might be that like silent threat that people don't realize is a threat to win until it's too late.
Yeah, 100%. She was on my list. Definitely was, maybe she's going to have like the Saria effect with being a nurse and being really great at being social, but then also being able to be cutthroat behind the scenes. I definitely have high hopes for her and I could see her being a winner of this season. So great first pick. I don't think she would have come back for you. So yeah,
probably not.
Yeah. At 5.
Since we do have astrology up here, there's a common theme in this cast of Virgo and Libra, but it is very heavy Virgos, and she's one of our Virgos. She's gonna have a good strategic mind. And there's something about being a nurse in New York City. Like she's bold.
That's hardcore.
Yeah, right. Good pick, Owen. All right, Frannie.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Oh God. Okay.
What's your pick?
I'm sorry. I'm kind of panicking. I didn't think I'd get to go so early. Okay. I think for my first pick, I'm going to go with, Jay Maya. On the Red Woman Tribe. I was watching through everybody's like Mike Bloom interviews today to get like a refresh, and I just loved her energy so much. Like she feels like somebody I really want to be friends with in real life, so maybe this is like a hopeful like Jay Maya shout out, like come be friends with me. But it just feels like she's navigated a lot of different like situations and people in her life. Like she went to Harvard undergrad, it sounds like, but is now in this totally different entertainment world. You can just tell in her interview with Mike that she's like sharp. You know what I mean? I feel like she's going to be somebody who's always thinking and is really on top of things. But I think that she will present as kind of unassuming, very sweet, like very nice. She kind of has, you know, like a smaller stature, especially maybe we'll talk about this. Her tribe is stacked. There's some big guys on that tribe. So, you know, I think that she may be able to fly under the radar a little bit. And I think that she will, come off as sweet and then be thinking really hard in this game. And then also, I just love, she has this like, she has this whole thing about like adventure and like questing that she loves. She loves like, you know, those kind of young like fantasy novels and stuff. And I feel like that energy is really exciting going into Survivor, because I feel like she'll be, you know, there to do things that are like exciting and fun and like have adventure. And I feel like those are the people that do really well and are really fun to watch. So I'm excited for her.
Yeah, she's adorable. She's one of our Libras. She might try to find someone to pair up with and have a little duo going on. Yeah, she seems fun.
She does. She was on my list as well. And she's got like the smarts and the personality. And like you say, Frannie, like being on that stacked tribe, it's like, that's great for draft points. She's gonna like, you know, if she's not the one winning the challenges, she's gonna be on the team who's winning challenges and whatnot. And then, you know, it just increases her likelihood of making it to merge and all that stuff. So great draft pick.
And she totally seems like a puzzler too, like especially anything like, and she said she's like a punster and, you know, she writes music, like any sort of word puzzle. I feel like she's going to be on it, like on top of it. Yeah.
So like a world-renowned punster.
Yes, I didn't know that was a thing, like a competition. And I've been so curious about this. I'm like, do they give them prompts? Like, I don't know. It's a cool hobby.
That actually would be really fun to watch. I wasn't as high on her, just for the fact that I was kind of feeling as though, like, I think I would like her as a person. I think I'd get along with her. I think that she's like great fun. I love that she was a lawyer and then she decided not to be a lawyer or like go into law school anymore and decide to venture into the arts. I love that for her. But I'm worried that she might be in over her head. I think she is a little bit optimistic about the game of Survivor. And I think she thinks it might be like a little bit more roses and rainbows than it actually is going to be. And I feel like she might be in over her head, but I am willing to watch her try. I think that she's a lovely person, but I am worried that she might be in over her head. But she was like mid-tier on my list.
I think that's a fair hesitation. Absolutely. And then my only hesitation would be, I think if Red were to somehow lose, I think it's her or Julie on the chopping block potentially. Like if the bigger guys go with like, oh, keep the tribe strong. Like if they go down that simple route, I could see her being an easy target. But I'm hopeful. I really like her. I'm looking forward to hopefully getting to chat with her one of these days, because she seems like just a really fun, interesting person.
Okay, you guys, this is my pick. And so one of the things that Chantele and I did pre-season, not only do we do their astrology, but we pull tarot cards just to get an energy vibe of what's going to go on. So I'm going to do a little something different this season. I always have a different strategy on how I pick. One time I just did all Sagittarius. But this year I'm going to go by the cards. Probably crazy, but I'm going to go by the cards. And let me tell you, this girl, Hannah Rose, had some amazing cards that shook me. I was shook. So we're just going to test it out. I'm taking her first pick. I mean, look at her. She's adorable. She's a therapist. I love her glasses. She had the Empress card and the 10 of Cups. Empress gets things done. And the 10 of Cups is being absolutely beloved. So let's see if that can turn into some jury votes or something here.
I liked her a lot. She wasn't like high on my list, but I loved the self-awareness of like, I'm a therapist, but that doesn't mean I'm going to be good at this game. Look at how the therapists have performed the past few seasons. So I enjoyed that about her.
I really liked her talking about the other people and how just like kind of brutal she was in her assessment, how some people were like being pick-me's, and I don't know, people were giving her a hard time, but I thought it was funny. As like a naturally grumpy presenting person myself, she was speaking my language for sure. And for me, she gets bonus points because she's from Maryland too. So I'm all about it. Yeah, I think she's going to be fun to watch, and I've enjoyed her interviews big time.
I like that. As a grumpy individual myself, I connect with her. I love that. I love the connection. Yeah, I liked her a lot. I thought she was really, really funny in her interviews. Something that I noted about her is you know, I feel like there's always a lot of people who like invoke the name of like Kelly Wentworth. And I think she said Kelly and Aubrey as her two people that she felt like similar to. And sometimes I hear that I'm kind of like, okay, yeah, you know,
Sure.
Kelly Wentworth is amazing and Aubrey's amazing. Like you watch the show. Okay, good. But with her, like as she was talking, I kind of did get that from her a little bit. Like something about the way she was speaking and kind of her like candor. I did kind of get Kelly Wentworth a little bit. So I hope that she can kind of have that same like energy and that same kind of like wily attitude. And I thought that it was actually like good self-awareness saying those picks for her.
And I don't know if I was influenced by the cards, but I had her super high up as well. I liked her responses in all of her interviews. I feel like people have been kind of seeming to like her, and she has people that she wants to work with in the game. And I think that she has a good read on who she might work well with. And so if that all actually works out and she gets to the merge and she gets to get with some of the other people that she really likes, I think that she can go far into this game. So I have high hopes for her. No facts, like, you know, concrete facts, really. I just got a couple of cards and some good words, but I had her high on my list.
I mean, none of us have facts. What are we even talking about right now? Preseason
cards
picks
and
are
dreams. So
We have birthdays and jobs.
Mike Bloom in a dream.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right, Chantele.
Well, this is a little different because I'm the only Canadian here on the draft. I gotta take the only Canadian here who I also think is very much a potential winner, and that is Caleb. Now, he's a big personality. A lot of people are recognizing him as being a big personality, saying that he's looking at people, making eye contact. People are smiling back at him. He seems to be really great at building rapport with people, even when you're only reduced down to your initials. And so I like that for him. I like the fact that he knows how he presents to other people, and he's willing to play into that kind of golden retriever kind of energy, but then at the same time have the strategic chops underneath it. So I'm looking forward to see if he's able to be, what did he say? Dwight to Jesse. Was it Dwight to Jesse? Yeah. Like I kind of like that kind of vibe. And I think that I want to see him play the game, and I would love to see him win. So I'm going with Canadian Caleb.
Okay, I want to talk about this because I had mixed feelings about Caleb, and he was definitely lower on my list because I think he would have been higher, but with Mike Bloom this season asking the question of like, what do you think of the other people here? That's what got me concerned for him, because a lot of people, when Mike asked like, is there anybody here who seems like a red flag for you? I feel like a lot of people said him. Right, like a lot of people noticed that he was smiling at everyone, that he was very charismatic. And I feel like he's going to be a person who like, he seems very charismatic, 100%. But I think he thinks that he's coming off as just like golden retriever fun. I think people are going to see right through that. Like, I think that, and maybe I won't say who, maybe when we get there, we'll get there. I think there's somebody else who has very golden retriever energy, who is like going to do what Caleb wants to do. But I'm worried for him a little bit. I feel like people are already oriented towards him in a way that like might not behoove him in the game.
I did watch those, and I was a little bit like, ooh, but I also think that that's just like seeing someone that you're not actually interacting with. And like, I've had misreads on people, or even had the right read on somebody, and then like, oh, but they're so fun and nice. I love being around them. And they just get snowed and they get the misted. So I feel like he has missed ability, but I hear your reservations.
Yeah, he strikes me as someone, as soon as he opens his mouth, they're going to like, that worry is going to go away. He seems very charismatic, very good vibes, but it was like jarring reading that assessment that Frannie was just talking about, because I've been told by multiple people that I was the smiliest person at our pregame Ponderosa, and I was like making the most eye contact, and like I can move my eyebrows a lot, and like I've
heard about the Owen eyebrows from people that you gave that to everyone, the signature.
So I don't know, but I like that pick a lot. Caleb to me is super charming. I loved his breakdown of where he thought the men would be assigned on the tribes based on just like vibes and looking around. The fact that he dubbed Drew Lanky Blanky, I thought that was hilarious. So yeah, he's going to be gold no matter what placement he gets. I think he's going to be a all-time character. He's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, look at what Jam Jam did with like being likable. Last season he took that all the way to a win, and these people didn't see that season, right? That was airing while they were on the
The
island.
last episode that they saw was the episode that Josh went home, which was our Earn the Merge. So they missed the end of it.
Okay. So they're not, I don't think they necessarily would be like, oh, we got to get the likable person out because the likable person just won. Like they're not necessarily aware of that as they're playing. So his personality was definitely shining. He's a good pick.
Well, he not only is he Canadian, but he's also an Aquarius moon. And Chantele, you're an Aquarius. So I see the connection. And he did have really good cards. He had the Emperor and the Seven of Pentacles. So he might.
Wait, I'm also an Aquarius moon. Maybe now I'm up on him.
Oh!
Yes. Ooh. Frannie, do you know your big three?
I do know my big three. Yeah, I am an Aquarius moon. I'm a Cancer rising, and I'm a Pisces sun.
That's so
Cancer rising.
Yeah.
Oh. And Owen is a Cancer. I know that.
Yeah. That's all I know as well. That's all. I don't know the rest.
Wait, is it Caleb a Pisces or was he a Virgo? No, he's a Virgo.
He's a Virgo with his Aquarius moon, Libra Mercury. So lots of Virgos. David, you got anybody left? You ready?
Oh yeah. So 2 seasons ago, I took a risk on the youngest person, Sammy.
Yep.
And he did way better than I think people expected. And I was proud of my choice. And then the next season, I was like, I can't do it again. I can't pick a young person and say that this, the youngest person ever is going to win Survivor. And I let Carson pass me by. And the whole season, I was bitter that he 3D printed all those puzzles and won all those draft points for Sarah. So I am not missing my chance to take Brando onto my draft team this season.
Oh my god!
Because I'm hoping he 3D printed everything too and gets me a bunch of draft points.
I did see today. I like this pick. Much like Carson, Brando is selling merch. I saw he.
Oh really?
Oh my god! No!
Wait, what's he selling? What's he selling?
So they're actually kind of cute. Yeah, there's t-shirts. One of them says that show's still on. I thought that was cheeky and cute. One has a snake on it. One just says Brando with a smiley face. It's cute stuff. But yeah, no pillows though. So I don't know what that means.
We can't.
We got Carson in the chat too. It looks like.
Yeah.
Carson's.
Oh yeah. He's given us I 3D printed everything.
Yeah.
In preseason. Let's see if he actually did. He's a Gemini.
He seems like such a sweetie. I liked him a lot. He seemed really cute in his interview. I do think that he jokes himself that he looks 12. I don't know if that'll help him or not. But
I know, is he gonna try and be like, I'm 34?
People be like, what?
No.
Yeah, him and Bowie J in the same age.
Yeah.
I really like Brando, but I am always really worried about the youngest person on in the game. Just for me, I just don't know if I would ever be able to give someone that young so much money. But yes, if you're gonna want to get the points, I get it. But I would be hesitant just for the winner, because if I have that mindset, I'm sure that a lot of other people in the game would have that mindset as well. So always hesitant, but I love to be proven wrong. Sometimes.
You don't love that at all. What are you talking about?
Never.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say I had him very high on my list as well, and he had great cards. He had the Tower, which could be risky, but it was paired with the Queen of Cups. So it feels like he's going to go through a journey, but be very loved. So he's at least not first boot. He's going to be around a minute.
The Tower is one of those cards that's looks terrifying, but then I think it's actually sometimes pretty good. So that
if you make it through,
as long as you're not the one falling off the tower, then you're good.
Yeah,
I feel like for Brando, I know we just talked about this. Cast saw about halfway through season 44. I feel like, love you, Carson. The Carson of it all maybe does not bode well for Brando, because I feel like at that point Carson was already out as a front runner. You could tell he was putting things together, his puzzle prowess by that point well. And I know that casts are so influenced by the episodes that they have just seen. So I think showing up in Fiji and seeing another kid you're like, is this kid in high school? He's got glasses. I think people are going to be a little nervous about him. And that makes me scared for him.
Yeah. Yeah, because our young nerds have been doing well lately. So they're now targets. Yeah. Well, David, you get to go again. What's your next pick?
Yes. Well, I got to balance out the nerd energy with some comp beast energy.
Okay.
You know I have to do it, Chantele. That's how we get points in these drafts.
That's right.
So I am choosing Austin as my second pick.
Oh, yeah.
Good pick. Great pick.
Great pick.
There we go.
I'm sad.
I know you wanted him.
He's got Owen hair, so that's gonna do well. Yeah, when I was like looking at the guys, I was like, who's gonna win us some physical stuff? And I feel like it might be Austin.
One thing I think is great about Austin is the fact that, like, so yes, he's buff, really good looking right now, but he had a glow up. And I think that that's also really great for being socially awesome. Like, people might assume him to be like this, you know, jock type, but then when they actually get to know him, he's going to be a little bit more compassionate and be able to connect with more types of people than maybe initially expected. So I definitely had him quite high up as a comp beast. I think that he will be helping his tribe big time, and I think that he has potential to win the game. So good pick with this one.
Yeah, for Austin, I feel like he's who I was referring to earlier. I feel like he has the golden retriever energy that Caleb is trying to emulate. I get that from him big time. And I also think with the article, Owen, that you referenced earlier that released that said he was an alternate, I feel like that changes people's headspace a little bit. You know, he's playing from this different position where I think he might already feel like he has something to prove, right? Because he came in as an alternate, didn't even think that he was going to be on this season. Maybe has like a chip on his shoulder where he's going to be I feel like sometimes there's this thing where like alternates, like you might play a little bit more like a second time player because you're like, you think you weren't going to get this opportunity. Now you're like really want to make the most of it. So yeah, I'm excited for him as well.
Yeah, I regret my pick because I didn't think he'd be here available at 5 or 6. But yeah, Austin actually, he messaged me like while my season was airing. It was like, dude, like you remind me of myself. Like I looked at your Instagram, we have pretty similar vibe, and I was like, no, like, whoa, crazy. Just like our shared interest in the outdoors and everything, and like hearing him talk and do interviews. Obviously, we are very different, but like, just I'm very excited for him, and just the fact that we have at least a tiny personal connection. My rooting interest is really high, but to me, he's one of those people that I think, just given the nature of how these 3 tribe seasons are working, he's like basically a shoe-in to make the merge. I feel like I don't see Red, unless they pull off some Hunter Ellis-esque blindside on him, I don't see them getting rid of him pre-merge. But I'm curious how it would have stacked up, because as we were talking about earlier, Red seems stacked with both him and Sifu, and I think Drew is like 9 feet tall as well. So I don't know like if that was the intentional design, or maybe he subbed in for someone and I don't even know. But yeah, I don't see Red losing a lot pre-merge, but I think Austin, as discussed, has potential to do really well.
Yeah,
I wondered that too, Owen, if he had maybe subbed in for somebody who was a little less like athletic, because yeah, you put him in there and suddenly that tribe is, and like we'll get to her, but D looks super strong as well. Like, good stacked tribe for sure.
Yeah.
And we don't have a lot of water signs. We have all this like Virgo and Libra, and he's one of our few. He's a Scorpio, but there is a Pisces on Reba, so it's not like he's a lone person who has feelings where everyone else is analytical. So that's great. So they'll win stuff and get along at least a little bit. I feel good about that tribe in general. Yeah. Okay, Chantele.
Well, speaking of D, she's my next pick. I really like her. You know, she talks about being a Latina, and she just like, I just like how she was talking about the other castmates. I'm excited just to see her play. I want to see her story, and I just think that she's going to get along with people and enjoy being in the game. She looks physically fit, I think, and she's on the stacked tribe, so that's my comp beast, okay? And I really hope that she does well. I would like to see her journey for sure.
Yeah, I think Dee's a great pick. She something I noticed from her in the like parade RHAP interviews, I feel like I remember from when I did mine, I was so nervous. I feel like you could tell. And I feel like a lot of people, you can tell that they're a little nervous. Maybe they're a little, she felt really like calm to me in a way that felt very stable. And I feel like she is going to have a really calm head about her in the game when there's a lot going on. And I feel like that kind of presence can be really like attractive and can attract alliance members. So I feel like she will hopefully have a lot of people wanting to work with her because she has that kind of like stabilizing energy. She also seems so warm. She smiled every moment of her interview. Yeah, I think she's gonna do well.
Yeah, I definitely sort of saw her as the female comp beast. So great choice in that respect. And she just had a lot of, I don't know, there was something about her vibe and the Latina thing. I was like, her type seems to be doing well in this new era of Survivor. You sort of look at Heidi and as like a comp, you know, so I'm like, I think she could do really well.
I think she'll be underestimated as well. I think, you know, people will focus on the smile and her physical fitness and maybe think, oh, she's just here, you know, as the gym girly, whatever. And I think her experience as an entrepreneur and the way she's had to hustle, I was very impressed when I was reading that in her interviews and hearing her talk about it. I think people won't see her coming from a strategic standpoint. I could definitely see her being a lot more dangerous than people realize in the back half.
Yeah.
Did you guys read about her casting audition video?
That was crazy.
No.
Oh my God. Girl's confident. Oh my God.
Yeah, when you were like, she's chill and calm, I was like, I don't know. She sounds a little crazy from her casting.
Let me tell you this. I did not see this. So here.
She just posted it on Instagram and asked all of her followers to tag Jessie. And Jessie was just like, boom, 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 boom. Got so mad, asked a casting associate to contact her to take it down. So she's like, I don't recommend it, but obviously it worked. So
I'm into that. Okay.
That's that hustler energy.
Well,
the hustle. Yeah.
I love the hustle. Like getting it done, seeing that, doing whatever she can to make it happen. So even better.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was like, I'll ask for forgiveness later, I guess was her energy. But yeah, it totally worked out for her. That was pretty wild. So I'm excited to watch her. Another one of our Libras. She's also a Mercury Virgo. So she's going to be very strategic and analytical. She also had a Tower card, but paired with the Queen of Swords. So she might be able to pull through this. And survive. Well, I have to stick with this team that we think might be winning some comps here. I got to get someone on Reba. And when I was going through, the person I thought was going to be my next Carson, who probably 3D printed everything, was Drew. So he's my next pick. He had the 10 of Wands and the Queen of Wands, which I'm going to interpret as winning comps because Wands are very competitive. So that's what I'm hoping.
This is a tiny, like, funny thing that I had about Drew. Something I noticed on my season, there came a point where I was the tallest person there by like a bit. My season, there's like some shorter people on my season. And when you're taller than other people in your tribe, you're just like, you can't hide. And I feel like that's not going to be like, Drew cannot be subtle because he's just going to be there. You know what I mean? So like, he's got to find a way to navigate really well socially because it won't happen where he can skate under the radar and people will forget about him.
Yeah.
And I remember like Tony's post press after he won Winners at War, he talked about how he deliberately made himself smaller. And like, what's Drew gonna do? Like curl up in a ball on the ground. So that was just one thing I thought of where I was like, he's gonna be out there, you know?
How tall is he?
But everybody in their thing referred to him as like the huge guy.
Okay. Because Drew is giving me vibes because I'm 6'5" and I'm like, I would stick out. And he looks, I want him to be wearing sunscreen.
Yeah.
I'm worried for his complexion. So I've got high hopes for him, but I'm worried for the skin in particular.
I was going to say, I think Austin's like 6'1" and Drew's noticeably taller than Austin.
Oh, wow.
Oh, okay.
Oh, boy. I think it was Dee was saying in one of her interviews though that Drew wasn't making any eye contact and stuff, and kind of like being a little bit more reserved. And I think that might not bode well for him, just for it to come already not engaging in this preseason stuff. So it's good that they're on the same tribe at least. So maybe they'll have a chance to bond, especially if they're winning competitions. You know, they won't have to vote anybody out. But I would be worried that he might be first pick if people weren't initially gravitating towards him.
Yeah.
No, he's not.
From the tribe. Come on. You're going to get rid of Dean.
Nope.
No, you're going to get rid of Drew.
No, not at all. All right, Frannie, back to you.
Yeah. Okay. I'm a little like frazzled because there's a lot of people who I didn't think would be left still. Sorry. I've never done a draft before. It's going to come to me. I'm going to be like, okay. Oh, geez. I'm going to go with, I am going to go with.
It's tough.
I'm going to go with Jake. I'm going to go with Jake.
No.
Yeah.
Darn it.
Damn it.
Okay, so first of all, I feel like Jake has gotten a good amount of like screen time and confessionals in a lot of the promos. He's cracking me up. That accent, I could listen to it all day. Like,
yeah.
he said he's like he did the bar. I can't even do it.
Yeah.
He's a hard worker, and I'm like, don't say more. Yeah, and I kind of liked he seems again really sharp, really smart. Like he just, you know, he's an attorney. But I also liked that he has this kind of humble background of like living with grandma and all this stuff. And I feel like he's going to be like a really good vibes person on his tribe that's going to like make people laugh, hopefully kind of lull them into a false sense of security. And then my hope is that behind all that, he's going to be thinking a lot. Also, honestly, I was very biased because he talked a lot about doing theater in school and I did theater. And I was like, you would have been my friend in the, you know, theater program. And we would have been like laughing in the corner and shooting the shit. So yeah, I'm excited for Jake.
David, you're mad. Why?
He was high on my list. I wanted him. The accent was cracking me up. I love the like lawyer bartender combo. There's like, you know, the smarts and the social together. And I agree. He just was making me laugh in his promo video. So I wanted him personality wise. Good pick.
Yeah. He's really high up for me. Go ahead.
Another thing that was so funny, I don't know if he said this was his favorite Survivor moment, but he was talking about like players he loves. He referenced one of my favorite moments, which is in Ghost Island when Kellen and Dom are talking and Kellen's like, we want Michael out now. And Dom just goes, and sits down. I love that moment. And he brought that up and I was like, you got me. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, right?
No, I was just going to say he had a lot of footage on like the EW videos. Like there's just a lot of him. I know a lot about his story. And so I just think that that's going to bode well. They're going to want people to already kind of know people that are going to make an impact and influence, I think, in the season. So I definitely had him high up there. Loving that accent. I think that he's pretty charming. I think the whole, like the balance of lawyer versus bartender, I think that's actually really good for being able to read people, then keep people in balance and keep people, you know, together. And so I think he's going to have a handle on the tribe and get along quite well. So great pick there for sure.
Yes.
Yeah, I had to scramble and borrow Sammy's phone to look up the cast list because I was so ready to take Jake and I needed to double check. And it's so I get 2 in a row here, correct?
You do.
You will, yes.
Yeah. Okay. So I think for the first one, I'm gonna go Katura from the Blue Tribe. Civil rights, civil rights lawyer. Her energy is very positive. I think she comes off a little like less like, because you know, like with certain occupations, obviously people have these perceptions and things, and her energy is very disarming. That was the word I was looking for. Like I think she draws people in. I'm just drawn to her, like just hearing her talk in her interviews, like very positive energy coming off of her for sure. I was shocked when I saw her age. I think she's in her mid-30s, and and she presents much younger than that. So I think with this young cast, I think she'll be able to kind of ride that line of connecting with the Bruces and some of the older players versus some of these like children. And I'm just optimistic. And I like her vibe. I like her energy. And I think her career can will manifest itself in really helpful ways, I think, later on. But I think she presents as a very non-threatening, just like social, positive person to be around.
Yeah, I agree. I think I was sort of noticing this younger cast as well. And she's like right at that age where she can ride the middle and connect with like both ends. And she has this like almost unassuming way about her that was like, I feel like people just aren't going to be annoyed by her. She's just going to be there. Maybe she'll be a calming presence that people are like, let's just keep Couture around. Like she's keeping us all sane. So I like, that's a good pick.
Yeah, for me, she's like an undercover badass. Like, I feel like she's just like, people are not going to see how much she's either playing the game or like how strong she actually is. And I think she's just going to be brought along really far. And I don't know, I just have faith in people from New York being really great at kind of connecting with people, but also being really strong players. So I look forward to seeing Couture's game for sure.
Yeah, she's going to lie about her age. And I think that's fine. This is no Bowie Jane. Like she, yeah, 28, 29. Sure. Absolutely. I believe it. She's gorgeous. Like, yeah, but also pretty grounded. She has a great blend with a Virgo sun and a Gemini moon. People are going to love to chat with her with that Gemini moon. She had really good cards. So she was my next pick. She got the Wheel of Fortune, which could be a winning card. So very, very good pick there.
Thank you. And then I guess I have one more, and I'm torn now between getting one from each tribe or just going with my gut.
Yeah, you never know.
And I think I gotta take my boy Brandon. I gotta do it. Even though I wanted one from every tribe, I'm sorry, Frannie. I gotta go with my long-haired,
I should have snapped him up.
King.
Yeah.
I can't not. I mean, look at this guy. He's
I know, right?
What are you gonna not pick him? Would I make him my winner pick? I don't know, but I love his energy. I love his answers. He cracks me up. He just seems so earnest and genuinely excited to be there. And obviously, he knows this game backwards and forwards. But I think, and I hope, he'll be able to channel it much like I did, in that it's going to come in handy, but he's going to be able to measure it and keep it in line and use it as a way to connect with people, but not totally like flame out and just like, oh my God, that's the tree where this happened and that happened. Like, I think he'll be able to kind of meter himself a bit more. But yeah, I just like his energy. I love his shirt. I love the hair. Him and Austin are the two people that I see myself in the most. And so naturally I'm going to be a little bit biased towards them. But at the same time, just like, I know he has spoken about how like he's been applying to this since he was like 11 or 12, which I'm sure the pressure is on him. Like, I know how much I was anxious about being first one voted out or being this or like getting like just any multitude of things going wrong. And the downside and why I waited until my last pick to take him is like, I do fear that could show itself in a negative way and that he flames out. But I'm choosing to be optimistic, and I like his vibe a lot.
Well, and I also feel like Jeff has been really wanting the young Survivor fan to be waiting in the wings to play the game. And so they have showed him a lot in previews. And like, I feel like he's like the only person I really, really know that's going to be on this next season. And so I think it's because of the fact that he's been putting in his audition tape since he's 11 years old, and like seeing that story. I think that Jeff wants to make like a poster child of like the ultimate Survivor player out of Brandon. And I think that could mean that he goes really far. So, I mean, I wanted to pick him. I love a super fan. I want to see a super fan do well. And so I would want to support him as well. So good pick for sure.
Yeah. I love Brandon. He was my next one too. I love this guy. I literally think that I don't think it's even close. I think this is the biggest fan of Survivor who's ever played this game. Like, bar none. From what I know about him. I'm like, this guy's a massive fan. I'm just psyched to see him there. Like, I just feel like he's going to be so freaking excited. And a thing that I was thinking about with him is, I wish I'd written down how many, but I noticed with this season, lots of people who got into Survivor during COVID. And like, I don't want to knock that, because you can't control when you hear about the show, when you get into the show, and you do the best you can with the time that you have. But he's somebody who's been sitting with this show for years. And I feel like there's kind of a different energy that comes with that. Like, you've had a lot of time to think. And like Owen said, sometimes that can be to your detriment, but sometimes it can be good. Like in his, some of his interviews, I thought a lot of his, thoughts about the game were really astute. Like he mentioned wanting to have a Breakfast Club alliance with people that were very different from him. I thought that was so smart because freaking when I went there, I was like, who's the person who's most similar to me on my entire tribe? I'm gonna align with them and also fall in love with them. Idea. You know, like I feel like when you align with somebody who's different from you, not only do they like pick up things that you drop, but they also, you know, people don't see it coming. They don't, you know, if he aligns with somebody who's very different, they, you know, people won't realize that they're together. And I think that that's really smart. I also loved what he was saying about like not wanting the beware advantage for himself. He would like, you know, give it to somebody else or an idol or something because he wants to know where the information is. I thought that was so smart. I would do exactly the same thing in his shoes. So yeah, I thought he had some really astute game thoughts. Yeah. And I'm just excited to see him be excited.
For me, he just needs to... Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead, dude. I will just piggybacking real quick on what Frannie was saying. I love that he had those thoughts and he was able to vocalize them. Like, I think he's going to be a great narrator, great TV. His confessionals are going to be really good because, like, I've had the thought of the Breakfast Club, but I was never able to, like, explain it that way because I was I'm excited to see him talk out and explain the game.
Yeah, for me, he just needs to be able to, like, wrangle the thoughts because I'm worried that he's going to overthink and like just be erratic. The neuroticism like kind of made me a little bit nervous, but he's like self-aware and knows that. But then like, you know, Sarah and I just rewatched Millennials Gen X. So I'm like, maybe he'll be a David Wright or something, you know, like someone who's like going crazy, but once he sort of settles down and eases into the game can go really far. But I'm interested to watch him for sure. I love how big of a fan he is.
He had an interesting casting story as well. Like you mentioned, he's been applying since he was a child, which probably annoyed casting. But then he ended up at Big Brother finals and was so close to being on Big Brother, but didn't get in. But that helped him because of Jesse casting all of the shows, helped him move forward with Survivor. And I just love... I also accidentally almost got close to being on Big Brother, and I'm very happy I didn't. So I feel you, Brandon. Like, I feel like this was fate. Like, he was just always supposed to be on Survivor. You know, don't accidentally go on another show. So I'm excited to watch him.
Yeah.
Frannie, back to you. Your last pick.
Yeah. Okay. For my last pick, I feel, oh no. I'm going to go with, I just got to say, like, 2 of my top 5 people are still here. So like, this is like, there's a lot of good people left on the board from my perspective.
It's always fun when we have different tastes.
Yeah.
And, you know, not everyone's just taken.
I'm going to go with Julie. She's somebody who gave me so much spunk in her videos and all of her stuff. I was like smiling and laughing the whole time I was watching her video, her interview. I just feel like she's kind of like, she seems kind of jacked. Like she's got a lot of energy. And I think sometimes that can be, you know, a problem if you're too much, but I think it's also the nervous excitement, right? I think she's going to get there and be able to focus it in. I feel like, she has this narrative that she's already building about second chances. Like Second Chances is the first season she watched. She had this second chance story in her life from like going from, you know, being an art teacher, it sounds like, and going through a divorce and then deciding to go into law. And I feel like that headspace is a great way to go into the game because she hopefully will be able to play like it's her second time because she has that kind of mental tilt. And that attitude has me really excited to see what she's able to do. And yeah, I think that she could also be underestimated, especially like we talked about, she's on this tribe that's stacked. Hopefully she doesn't have to go to tribal. But I don't know. She just seems like somebody who hopefully if she can find a good group of people that like her, feel like she's dependable, I feel like she could go far.
Yeah.
She's got mom energy
like that
for sure.
For sure.
Yeah. But like very spunky mom energy. Like she's like, mom, you know?
She's a cool mom.
But she has her one line from casting, the second chance. So you know that she drilled that through casting a million times. And, but I agree, Frannie. I think that could serve her really well. And I do think, like we were talking with Katura about just being disarming and just like a good presence. I could see like her and someone like Sifu maybe working together really well, like as an odd couple pair on that Reba tribe. But yeah, it's a shame just with like the age spread of casting now that she is kind of on her own in that respect on the red group. but yeah, her energy is, I'm rooting for her for sure. Her energy is definitely like rootable.
Yeah. I had her really high on my list. I mean, it always makes me nervous when it's someone like, you know, in the older group. You never know if they're just going to be outed by everybody else, like pushed out. But she's our only Pisces. So she is going to stand out a little bit, just having different energy than everyone else. But gosh, yeah, there's something about her that I like. So hopefully people want to keep her around.
Maybe that's why I like her. It's the Pisces.
Yeah. As like I'm always worried about the younger person not being able to win. The older person, I'm worried about being able to make it far. I just get worried. I like her personality. I think that she's super fun, but is it really going to integrate with their younger tribe? I don't know. So yeah, I am a little bit worried, and so I didn't have her as high on my list just because she's in that older demographic, and I don't know how well they're going to be able to work with her or not work with her. And so we'll have to see. But I want to see more of her. But I don't. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, she needs to channel Gabler.
Her cards were interesting because they're all pentacle cards. It almost feels like she's going to end up getting.
She's going to get that coin.
Titles and the coins that she's going to have, like whatever the advantages are. It feels like she's going to have them. So
what's the cards again? Do you remember?
She had a 4 of Pentacles and the King of Pentacles.
Oh, right. Okay, those are good cards.
So yeah, she had really good cards.
Then.
Yeah.
So she's getting an advantage or an idol or something.
Yep. All right, you guys, I don't know. This last pick is hard.
Just don't pick the one I want to pick because then I really don't know what I'm going to do. So please just stick to this type of people you have been picking because they haven't been on my list so far. So keep in that world, please.
Do I want one person from every tribe? That's the question. Because there's one more person on Reba I'm feeling, but there's also someone on Bellow that I was like mid-range feeling because my top Bellows were taken. Oh, okay. Oh boy. Okay. I'm going to fall back into old patterns, guys. I'm going to break what I was doing. And I am going to take the only Sagittarius on our cast. Sifu. He is... So I'm not taking someone from every tribe, but I feel good about the Reba tribe. So Sifu, I don't know. His interviews... made me feel like maybe he wasn't a super fan, like maybe he was contacted and watched a few seasons, which I'm not usually drawn to, but there's enough interesting about him that I just kind of want to have him on my team to see. I don't know, I'm mixed, but I've taken him.
Sagittarius, that's the only
okay, that's it. That's it.
Sifu's grown on me a lot in the past day. He was giving me strong Ryan Medrano kind of vibes as a very jolly, likable person who maybe does not give off strategic mastermind kind of energy or super fan kind of energy. But just watching the first 3 minutes that just came out, his opening confessional where he's talking about his music career in addition to his martial arts background, I feel like so many of his interviews in writing have just been about Tai Chi and owning the gym and his balance and this and that. But then just watching him like riff on the air guitar and like roll around in the sand, like he came off much less serious than I thought he was. And like like this word disarming, it's come up a lot of times, but like it was really endearing as well. I don't know. I liked him a lot more just from seeing him on screen for like 20 seconds than I have from all his written pregame stuff so far. So I think he'll be insulated pretty well. I think, as we've discussed, Reba is going to kick some ass in the tribal challenges. I really do. And I think he could be someone who finds himself in a majority group as maybe a non-threatening kind of presence. And then who knows, maybe he'll figure out the game more as he goes on and could turn it on late. But yeah, I agree, Sarah. He doesn't strike me as like the Brandon type who's been dreaming of being on Survivor since he was 10 necessarily. But I hope he proves me wrong. He's already started to.
Yeah. Hopefully he gives
has,
us some living vibes.
He has a story though that did tug on my heartstrings a little bit, with him being adopted and then finding his family and like his blood relatives, and then seeing them all together. They look exactly alike, and I'm like, oh my god, that's so sweet. Like seeing yourself in other people, and you can never see yourself, and like, yeah, I thought it was a really beautiful story. I know they're gonna love playing that story up the season. So if he has more things to tell, especially with like, you know, gym owner and then, you know, musician, like he has a lot of facets to him, and so I think we're gonna get a lot of him. So he was him, and the pick that I'm going to pick were my next two. So
okay.
All right.
Well, you go. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say, yeah, similar to Owen, he gave me like jolly, like roly-poly, ball of energy fellow type of vibe, and he also seemed warm. Like he seems quirky, like you were saying with the like, but he seemed warm, and I feel like people will like him. And then with like the strength of him and his tribe, I feel like he's definitely gonna be solid.
Okay, great. All right, Chantele, hit us with your last choice.
Give me a truck driver. Give me Sabaya. Yes. I actually had her really, really high up. She was 4th on my list for this draft. She kind of, like, you know, in her delivery and how she speaks, it seems quite calm, and I feel like she's going to be disarming. But like, I love the fact that she has this like military background, and like she knows how to probably lead, but also follow and be very strong. And like, I think that she's going to be competitively strong as well. So I'm just interested to see this archetype. Like, I haven't really seen anybody like her on these shows before, and I want to see how she's going to do. And I think she might do really well. So I want to root for her. So have her on my team, please.
I love her. I think she has a charm that people are going to be drawn into. I think her casting story, if I remember correctly, was like she just made a quick video in her truck while she was driving. And I'm like, if that can get you cast, then you got something. People are going to love her. Probably, you know, till at one point they have to get rid of you because you're a threat to win. I think that's probably going to be her problem because she seems great.
Yeah, I think the Southern accent a little bit she's got going for her is going to help as well. Because it does seem like she'll be thinking, but like she said, she's got this kind of like slow, like drawl energy, and I think that'll totally lull people into a false sense of security with her. And also, like, she's going to be a maniac. I mean, freaking her background, she's got to be like resilient as heck. And she talked about as well, like she's an ex-Marine. Is that what it was?
Yeah.
She talked about like navigating egos in that environment. And I think like, you know, being a woman in that environment, like, you know how to, navigate egos, navigate the other needs of people in a group and not put yourself out there if you don't need to. And I think she's going to be able to navigate that very well.
Mm-hmm.
That I like that line of thinking. However, part of the reason I didn't pick her is almost she's going to have the opposite problem with this tribe she's on, because the yellow tribe is giving very like unserious kind of energy off. She might be too serious for them when you've got like Caleb and his imaginary brother and all his schemes and everything. And like, I just wonder if she's going to be like stand out as being like the straight-laced one on the yellow tribe. So that's what gives me pause with her. But yeah, no, I agree though, just with the accent and the energy. And I think she's going to hide her military background. So I think people will just, you know, she's just a blue collar truck driver, and, you know, people might not see her strategic mind at work. So yeah, good pick.
Yeah, that's an interesting tribe.
But they got really good cards, right, Sarah, that tribe?
They did have the strength card as a tribe as a whole, which, you know, you never know. Does it mean they have strength or they like need the strength? Like,
Owen goes strength. The strength card. Are you sure?
Not ready to get that one. Are you
Inner strength. Okay, maybe they have the heart.
Yeah.
They had the heart.
They're the heart tribe.
It's a tribe strength. But what's interesting is we have like so many Virgos on this cast, but only 2 of them on that tribe, and Caleb is one of them, and he so I feel like she's going to be the strict Virgo, which is like, do not hang your pants over the fire there. I told you not to. Like, so she might stand out in that tribe because not everybody else is going to be having that perfectionism that the rest of the cast is going to have. Once they get to merge, they can all say how you fold your clothes perfectly. All right, David.
Okay.
You get.
I have to say that of the 4 people left, 3 were in my top half. So I'm feeling good about my selections at this point in the draft. I am sorry to say that last season, nobody drafted Bruce, and that is going to happen again. I am not going to draft Bruce.
No!
Sorry to Bruce. Sorry to Bruce.
No.
I'm sorry.
I knew I should have done. Oh no!
But the audience loves Bruce. The audience loves having Bruce.
I know. I'll buy everybody t-shirts. I'm sorry.
I've got 2 guys. I sort of wanted a woman on my tribe, but I'm not gonna draft Kendra. I'm not gonna draft Emily. I'm gonna draft Sean. Sean, I like him a lot.
Oh, yeah.
I love that he's an elementary school principal. My hope is that he's gonna have leader energy without being that like alpha toxic leader type. The elementary school principal, I think, is like a key component to why I think he might do well this season. He's certainly not coming off as like a physical comp beast, gonna like win a ton of individual immunities unless he's like a puzzle master, which is totally possible. But it's that leader energy that I am liking about Sean.
Yeah, I think the elementary school principal background is going to be really helpful for him. My mom's a high school teacher, so I feel like I know a lot about the ins and outs of like school administration, and he has to juggle so many needs, like the parents, the kids, the teachers. Like he has to operate from a lot of different like perspectives and keep everybody happy, and I think that that's going to translate super well to the game. With him, I'm curious about, and this is just the Yellow Tribe in general, I like can't see those 3 guys like together in a room. Like what are they going to talk about? I like can't put it together in my head because they kind of all 3 of them, because it's Brandon, Sean, and Caleb, all kind of seem like the charismatic funny guy, and so I sort of don't know if they will all 3 clash or if it will go well. So I'm really curious to see how that plays out for him. Also loved his story about like and I think this is from the first 3 minutes, how he's being part of being here is like making up lost time for the time that he wasn't being himself. I love that. I thought it was powerful.
Yeah,
me too.
And we've seen Gay Mormon's pretty good track record.
Yes. He invoked Todd, such a good winner. I'm like, if you can do the 2023 version of Todd, boom. Solid.
Yeah, I definitely want to root for Sean. I also can't figure out how like physically large or small he is. He's obviously not giving off like huge 6'6". Jonathan Young kind of vibes. So I am a little nervous, like just because as much as like I'm a super fan. Like out there, I did want to fight against some of like the like tropes and things, but like when you're on a tribe of 6 and you lose a challenge, like you can't not think about tribe strength as much as you don't want to, and you don't want that to be a reality of the game. It's like whoever is staying is responsible for 20% of the challenge essentially, and so that does make me a little nervous with him. But I don't know how I would have picked. You had kind of a tough choice, David, at the end there, because there's a lot of likability left. I do feel bad for Bruce, but I think Sean is a great pick. He has a lot of upside if he can get through that early portion, I think.
Right.
Yeah, I'm interested in him. I had him sort of mid level there. I had Kendra way higher. I feel bad that I didn't.
I almost picked her.
Yeah. And of course we love Bruce. My gosh, I can't believe.
Are we going to go through all 3 of them? I feel like I have things to say about all 3
of
them.
Yeah.
Great. Let's do it. Well, let's start with Bruce. We love you. Oh my gosh.
I'm like, oh God, I feel like that was my duty. You know what I mean? Let me just say for the record, I love Bruce to death. He lives in Rhode Island and I live in Boston. And so we've like met up many a time. Bruce is amazing. I just honestly think that even though he says it himself, he was there for 12 hours. How much? 11 of those were concussed. How much of a head start does he really have? I feel like people are oriented towards him in a way that might not help. You know, like I think people will see him as a returning player, and I think that's so dangerous, even though, which sucks because he's in this position where like he doesn't actually have the experience of being a returning player, but he has all the like negatives. I think what goes well for him is I think there were a couple of people who brought him up in their interviews and said that he was giving fatherly vibes, uncle vibes. I remember this from pregame. I gave a nickname to everyone for season 44 pregame. His was Kind Eyes, because Bruce looks at you over his mask and his eyes are just like two little hearts. And he looks so nice. He looks like your dad. You want to give him a hug. So I think that helps. Like people might gravitate towards him, but I just feel like he's got a target on his back and I want to like rub it off, but I can't.
Because he's returning, but he's not like fan favorite returning where you're like, oh, Ceri's here, I gotta play with Ceri. You know, it's not that kind of thing. So it's too bad for him.
Yeah, I'm worried for Bruce. Like, as much as like he's kind of going to go in and he says he doesn't want to be the dad, he wants to be like the fun uncle.
The drunk uncle.
Great, but like the people are already clocking him, being like, "We already saw him. Like, he already had his shot. He already had his chance."
A minute, he didn't have a shot.
No, I agree. If I was in his position, I'm like, I didn't play Survivor at all. I got hurt and I went home. But I don't know if the other people are going to see it that way. And so I agree with you, Frannie, that I'm worried that he might be someone that they're just like, well, he had his chance and it sucks that it didn't go well for him this first try, but it's our turn. And I don't think they'll let him win. So,
Well, we need fire in this season. We only have 2 fire signs and he's one of them. And so he better last. I mean, a Leo Sag Moon is a fun person. So I hope he gets at least to have some fun with people.
He'll stay for longer than his first time.
Oh, yes, please.
It'd be hard not to.
I hope so. Yeah. Also, I'll say with the astrology, Bruce is the biggest Leo I've ever met. We didn't see much from him, right, in 44. But, you know, I assume he'll get to, like, talk a little bit more. We'll see his confessional and stuff. Bruce has a big old personality. And I'm also curious to see how that works with the other people on his tribe. Like, looking at that spread, I feel like there could be people that, you know, like that will slot in with that. There could also be people where that clashes. But yeah, he's a big old Leo. His phone background is a lion. I hope he's okay with me saying that. He loves it.
Dave, that's the same as you. You're a Leo and a Sagittarius moon. So you should love him.
Well, I will root for him, even though he's not on my draft team.
How about Emily? What do we want to say about Emily? Where are you?
I loved her. I related. She talked openly about sunburning easily. Again, I just can't relate to that more strongly. I think about that all the time. What is investment analyst? She's, you know, seems like a smart gal. Again, she was in my top half, but just didn't have room for her on my draft team.
Frannie, do you connect with her?
Yeah, so because I'm also like sweaty and pale. What is it about us? I'm sweating currently, so
you're both smart and have curly hair.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, I do connect with her. I think that I worry for her. So I think from a TV character perspective, hilarious. Her opening little video where she's like, and the bugs, and I'm sweating. I was cackling. It was so good.
Yeah.
I think, you know, if she's half of Chaos Cast, it's gonna be wonderful.
Yeah.
But, yeah. I mean, she really came out here and said openly, like, I'm gonna be annoyed. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to cover that up, and people are gonna piss me off. And I feel like that's so hard. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like if you come in and you know, like, oh, and you're grumpy, but like you were able to be not grumpy at times. And I worry for her if she's just gonna come in and be like grumping about the elements, grumping about the people. I feel like it's hard to get a footing there. And then also with her being on that tribe, she says herself, she's not exactly like, you know, an Adonis physically. I'm a little worried for her. You know, if she can't get a footing, I think they go to tribal and she could be in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited to watch her play. I'm excited to watch her confessionals, but I think if I had been out there with her, we would have hated each other intensely. I just have a feeling. But I'm excited to watch her now. But yeah, I think I'm nervous because like in the first 3 minutes video, she said something. It's like, unless you win, this is a total waste of time. Like,
oh my God,
not untrue, I suppose, but also like, I don't know. I don't know how that energy will work with someone like Brandon, for example. Like,
who's like, enjoy the journey.
Yeah.
Maybe she's like, I'm going to be the villain, so people drag me to the end, and then I'm going to give an amazing final speech and snatch it.
Or maybe this is just her casting persona. You know, she's just like, okay, I just need to go in strong as something, but then I will adapt what I actually get in the game. So let's just hope that.
I feel like that's really so true. You go through all these interviews and I feel like you kind of, my puppies. No, she's back there. I feel like you go through all these interviews and everything and you kind of get a sense of what, or at least I did. I feel like I had a perception of what production thought I was going to be. And I was playing into that. Right. Honestly, I got out there and I feel like I did something completely different than they expected. So I'm hoping that she can do the same thing. But for now, she's really in this, like, I'm going to be a grump lane. And I think it's going to be hilarious, but we'll see how she does.
Yeah, if it's funny, that's great. But
No, I'm just picturing production freaking out and being like, Frannie and Matt are canoodling.
They did. There's the walkie-talkies were a ringing for.
Oh my God.
Get the night vision.
They're holding hands. I repeat.
And then who's Kendra, right?
Kendra.
Yeah.
I was dying at her answers when they're like, what's your strategy? She's like, I don't know.
She said,
winging it.
So funny. Love that answer.
At least she's honest. I mean, yes, please be honest about it. Don't be like, well, I'm gonna just see and then I'll have a partner.
Right, exactly. I appreciate her candor. I love her casting story of how she was doing the Camino in Spain and like doing her interviews from hostels and stuff. Like, as much as she's giving like free spirit kind of vibes, like she also, to me, is reading as someone who really wants to be there and like soak in the experience and really like figure it out as she goes. And so I think over planning is something that a lot of people get themselves in trouble with on the show. It's like, oh, I must find the mom and a meat shield and like figure it all out. And I think that kind of like hurt my game. Is like, I thought it's like, okay, let me just figure this out. And then when it went bad on my third day, I was just like, oh my God, blah. But like, she strikes me as someone who'll be able to adjust and roll with the punches really well. And I thought about picking her for sure.
Yeah, I almost picked her. I think that being able to be adaptable and pivot is so important in these games. And a lot of people are rigid. They have their plan. They have their preconceived notions of how it's supposed to go. And so rolling with the flow is good. And I think she had decent cards.
Sarah, I'm shocked you didn't pick her. She had the whole astrology. She memorized the stars and the planets. I thought she was going to be your first choice.
I know. She's my hippy dippy woo woo person. Yeah. I love it. Give me a nerd and a woo woo person and I'm set. And she would have been my one on Bella that I was trying to figure out, but I went with Sifu. So we'll see. See if that backfires, how that plays out. All right, so that is the 3 for the audience. You guys have Bruce, Emily, and Kendra. David, you have Brando, Austin, and Sean. How do you feel about that?
I feel great. Manpower, I guess, this season. I don't really go that route, but that's where we are.
The Boys Alliance.
Chantele, Caleb, D, and Sabia. Beautiful.
I basically got people all from my top 4. I had Caleb was my number 1, D was my number 3, and Sabaya was my number 4. So I'm pretty happy that, you know, from what I went in wanting to get, I pretty much got all my top picks. So very happy to see all these people play. And I hope that I get to win it. I get to win a draft, hopefully. Yay!
You're so close. You're so close. I have Hannah, Drew, and Sifu. So I'm like excited and nervous about this. Frannie, you have J Maya, Jake, and Julie. How are you feeling?
I know.
Overall?
I was looking all J's. It was unintentional, but it now feels meant to be. I'm like really rooting for the J's. I'm psyched about it. I feel like I've got like a pretty like disparate spread in terms of like personalities and maybe approaches. So maybe they will provide a good mix that can, you know, get me points in different areas. That's my hope.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Owen, Kelly, Katura, and Brandon.
I love the squad. I think I've got some strong winner potential, strong character potential, and just rootable folks on my team. So I'm excited.
Yay! Well, throughout the season, I will keep the spreadsheet up to date. We will get our points, see how we do. But overall, I mean, we're just excited about the new season, right?
Yes.
So excited. 90-minute episodes.
I know, right?
Yes.
How do you feel about 90 minutes? Do you think we're going to get more character development, or are they going to like shove in more advantages?
Oh.
I feel like from even just the 3-minute clip that they posted and some of the promotional footage, I mean, you know, I know Jeff, and Jeff loves an advantage. So there will certainly be like some funky stuff, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But I do feel like they're going to use this extra time to give us those hilarious moments. And yeah, I'm very optimistic about that. I think we'll get a lot of character moments. And I think somebody said in an interview, maybe it was, I think this was Matt Van Wegnen with Tyson, said that this is going to feel like an older season in terms of like character moments. So I'm so psyched for it. Yeah, everyone in the season 44 group chat is like, dang it, we were so close to having 90-minute episodes. But yeah, no, I'm so psyched for them, and they deserve it. It'll be great.
Yeah. How are you feeling, Owen?
Similar. I'm very optimistic about the time. I mean, we had a 90-minute episode in on my season. Sorry, phone ringing. And that's when we got my grumpy water carrying scene. I felt like that was something that would have been on the cutting room floor or secret scene if it had been a 60-minute episode. So I'm hoping we get character moments like that. I trust that they hopefully will find the balance with advantages and everything. But yeah, similar to Frannie, I'm very jealous that I didn't get to experience this for my own season. And I think it was Hai who tweeted, it's like it should have happened to me instead. It's like to all the 45 people, it's like, I'm not happy for you, it should have happened to me. But
and with the intros as well, what
the
a
intro,
like Owen, you got one, but like all the rest of us, I'm like, oh, I was like, can you just like throw one together retroactively and like email me?
There's no fan cams of the opening videos.
They do. Okay, yeah, there are some really excellent fan edits of that. That's a super
like Ari's are always really good. But yeah.
Well, is there any, I mean, obviously you guys are going to be watching the season. Is there anything you guys want to promote or just have people follow you on social media?
Oh, yeah.
First.
Well, so are we supposed to talk about this? Are we allowed to talk about events we're going to?
Please.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. Yeah. I'm coming from the land of last season. I was allowed to say nothing about anything. So
right.
So there's I think 3 RHAP live events this season. For the second episode, there's one in New York City. I will be there. I'm so psyched for it. It's gonna be so fun. Yay! Oh my god! Okay, we can talk about how our drafts are doing. Hopefully well. So super psyched for that. And then Owen and I will both be at the one in New Orleans, which is gonna be so much fun.
Yeah.
Everyone come out for this.
December 6th.
December 6th, I had I don't know if you guys know. Owen and I are really good friends. So I've never, ever been to New Orleans in my life. I've been to New Orleans 3 times since meeting Owen to visit. And I love it. Great city.
That's better. Okay, great.
Yeah. So I come out for that. It's going to be so much fun. That's what I'll promote.
So fun.
Well, now I want to go to the New Orleans
I
one.
know.
It's going to be fun.
I was just going to go to LA, but okay.
Well, you can do both.
Now I got a schedule in New Orleans. How about you, Owen? Obviously, you'll be at the New Orleans one. Anything else going on this season?
That's pretty much it. I traveled so much for Frannie season. I think I went to 5 separate watch parties for 44 because I was on my my season high, and now I'm tired. It's saving up for the wedding, so I convinced Rob to come to me instead. So I'm very excited. But I know Bryce and Wendell are hosting a welcome party the Tuesday before, so that'll be Tuesday the 5th. And then Wednesday the 6th, we got the Civic Theater, which is a really beautiful venue. And hope to see a lot of folks in New Orleans. And then you can I'm Tulane Owen, or no, that's not my Twitter anymore. I got rid of that.
Anymore.
It's the Young Knight with a 0 on Twitter and the Young Knight with an O on Instagram. So you can follow me there.
It's so funny you say that because, sorry to interrupt, but I remember we had Jesse on the draft last season. And at the beginning of the season, he was like bright-eyed, having fun. At the end of the season, Sarah was like, you going to do anything next season? He was like, I'm going to rest.
It's exhausting. It's so
tiring.
Exhausting. Oh my God. I know. I'm like, I don't know why I'm going to these things. I'm going to, when we circle back at the end of this, I'm going to be like lying down. I won't
You're going to be like, you warned me, but yes, I'm exhausted. But I was just going to bring up the Toronto party, right? Chantele,
so Bryce and Wen is doing, a premiere party next Wednesday. Is it next Wednesday? Oh my goodness. Holy
So
guacamole.
Yeah.
It's at a place called Duke's Refresher at 73 Front Street East here in Toronto. So I will be there. Me and Jenny Autumn are going to be taking over their Instagram.
Oh,
so
good.
we will be around and talking to people. So it should be a fun and good time as well here in Toronto. So, and I will be at all those Our Happy events. As if my schedule allows me to, I should be at all of them. So it'll be fun to see everybody in person. Yay!
Very exciting. Well, David and I will be here weekly recapping the episodes as well as Exit Press the day after with all the castaways. So, and we'll keep track of the draft. Thank you to everyone who joined us in the chat live and who will be with us all season long. We really appreciate you guys. If you're joining or watching this later, leave us a comment. Let us know who you'd want to draft, who you're rooting for, who's got the best team here. Who's going to take it? And thank you, David, Chantele, Owen, and Frannie for joining. And we'll see you guys all later in the season. Bye.
Bye.